to another video. We are doing Chapter 9, Lesson 1, the probability of simple events. Our learning goal is that students will be able to find the probability of simple events and its complement. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Remember to write down everything that is typed or written and pause the video at any time that you need to slow things down. Okay, so copy down the following chart. Probability can be written as a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. Okay, and it's nice to color code this. If it's a 0 or 0% chance, it's impossible. It's not going to happen. If it is 1 or 100%, then it's absolutely going to happen. And then, of course, you have the in-betweens. 0 and 25 hundredths, or 25%, 1/4. That's unlikely. It may not happen. It's not likely to happen. Or you've got 3/4, 75% chance that it is going to happen. So here's your chart. Write it down. Copy it down. All right. Here's the probability formula. You've got the probability, that's what that P stands for, of an event, and that is equal to the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of possible outcomes. Top divided by bottom. You always divide top by bottom. So, the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of possible outcomes, and then divide top by bottom. Okay, so the spinner is spun once. Find each probability and write the answer as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. It doesn't tell you to pick one, it tells you to write it 3 different ways. So for each of these problems, you should have 3 different answers, right? So the probability of landing on C. Well, how many C's are there? There's just 1. So the probability of landing on C is 1. That's our favorable. That's what we're wanting to find out of how many total there are. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total possible choices. So 1 out of 6. So I've written it as a fraction. I need to now write it as a decimal. How do we find our decimal? Divide. Top divided by bottom. 1 divided by 6 gives me a running decimal. Okay, so to write this number as a percent, I would probably round it. First, you're going to need to move your decimal place over 2 decimal places. So it's going to be 16%, a little bit over 16%. Here's the decimal actually written out, so I can show you how we're going to round it. And this keeps going. To write this number as a percent, you're going to move your decimal 2 places to the right. So it's going to be 16.6%, but this is a repeating decimal. So I would actually round this to the tenths place and make it 16.7%. So you've got 1/6, 0 and 16 hundredths, repeating decimal, and then 16.7%. Those are the 3 answers for this problem. So the spinner is shown as spun once. Find the probability for each. So write it as a fraction, decimal, and a percent. So the probability of getting B, E, or A. So there's 1 B, there's 1 E, and there's 1 A. So that's a total of 3. Out of how many total? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. So 3/6, that actually reduces to 1/2. Okay, so then I divide to get my decimal. 1 divided by 2, that gives me 0.5. That's your decimal. And then we need to move the decimal place 2 places to the right to write that number as a percent. So it would be 50%. So 1/2, 0.5, 50%. Those are your 3 answers for this problem. Okay, the spinner shown is spun once. Find each probability, write the answer as a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. So the probability of it not being a vowel. First, we need to know what vowels are. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, right? Is that still a thing? I don't know. That was back when I was little. Okay, so A, E, I, O, U for sure, right? So we want the probability of it not being a vowel. So any of these letters that are not a vowel, that is what we want to find the probability of. So M is not a vowel, B is not a vowel, C is not a vowel, and P is not a vowel. So 4 out of 6 total are not vowels. That reduces down to 2/3 because we can divide the top and bottom numbers by 2. 4 divided by 2 gives me 2, and 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. So 2/3 is my fraction. To get our decimal, we're going to divide top by bottom, and that gives us 0 and 66 hundredths, repeating decimal. And so to round it, it's going to be 60, not 67. The eraser doesn't work well on these. That's why I have to be messy. 66 and 7/10%. I rounded it. Okay? 66.7% that it is not going to be a vowel. Okay, so we've got 8 cards that are marked 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, such that each card has exactly one of these numbers. A card is picked without looking. Find each probability. Write each answer as a fraction, decimal, and a percent. So we want the probability of it being greater than 5. So it can't be 5. It's got to be bigger than 5. So the numbers that are bigger than 5 are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 of these numbers are greater than 5. In total, we have 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers total. So 5/8 is our fraction. To find our decimal, we divide top by bottom, and we get 0 and 625 thousandths. To find our percent, we move our decimal place 2 places to the right, and it is 62.5%. Okay, so we want the probability of it being a fish. There's one fish on here out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total. So 1/10 that it's a fish. So as a decimal, that's 1/10. And to make it as a percent, move it 2 places to the right, and that will be 10%. Last problem. The probability of it being a bird, cat, or a fish. Well, there's 1, 2, 3 cats. 4 cats. A bird, cat. Did we get them all? Oop, fish. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bird, cats, or fishes out of 10 total. And that reduces because both of these are divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. 10 divided by 2 gives us 5. So 4/5 is our fraction. To get our decimal, we divide top by bottom and get 0.8. To get our percent, we move our decimal 2 places to the right, and that'll be 80%. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.